Reason number 8 that people fail to maintain habits is spurious association, or to use a more common English title, stupid links. Stupid links. So, for example, say that you are going to the gym and you're feeling better than you've ever felt. Not only are you physically more fit, which means you've got more energy for your kids and for your work, but you've also noticed, as research has proven, that your cognitive performance, in other words, your ability to think, has gone up through your exercise, and you're doing great, and you've been doing it for a long time, and then you find out something about the gym you're going to, some unethical business practice, or some customer who is unhappy, who happens to be a friend of yours, and then maybe another one says the same thing, and then the spurious identification, then the silly linking occurs, and out of some mistaken sense of empathy, you allow your association with that gym to influence your decision to do the thing, and you stop the behavior. I've done this. And I've seen other people do it too. I've seen people do things such as they had people who are vegetarians who went back to eating meat because they went out with a vegetarian and the relationship ended, and they had some feelings towards that person that were unresolved, and out of some feelings of, well, I'm going to show them, they started eating meat. Crazy stuff, right? Hard to believe people would do that. What a crazy thing to do. That was me. Yep. It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, I went out with a woman who was a vegetarian, and I found after the breakup there was some behaviours in her which I decided to judge, and I threw out the baby with the bathwater, and I was like, well, and she was a vegetarian, so clearly vegetarianism is linked to her other behaviours, so I shouldn't be a vegetarian either. Reality is I just wasn't committed, and I had an unresolved anger, and I made a stupid linkage between one thing and another, and threw out a behaviour which actually was working really well for me in my life. It was helping me be more healthy, and threw it with a behaviour which for me was less healthy. So, yeah, we can all do this. Spurious associations. What you'll notice if you're doing any form of meditation that has a spiritual tradition to it, there'll be a spiritual organization wrapped around it. And guess what? Wherever you have any organization, you'll have people, and you'll have politics, and you'll have people who don't see eye to eye, and not everyone will behave in an enlightened way. And guess what? You'll notice their behaviors, and you'll be going, hey, come on, we're supposed to be practicing peace and love and joy, and what are these people doing? These people are headbutting. Hey, meditation's supposed to be raising our self-awareness. These people don't seem to even have awareness about their own behaviors. What have we done? We've gone into judgment. We've got into spurious association. We've gone into premature imagination that just because they meditate for a few days, that suddenly they're going to behave enlightened. We ourselves don't behave enlightened, yet we expect other people to. So we've gone into all sorts of funky thinking and made a really poor decision to abandon a behavior which is supporting us based on our judgments of the behaviors of others. Crazy stuff. So yeah, our judgment of other people can have an impact on whether we sustain behaviors which win for us. I know a person, a good friend of mine actually, who went to an ashram. He'd been doing a breathing and meditation process which I'd seen had made tremendous. I saw him, I knew him before and afterwards, and I saw tremendous shifts in him from the outside through doing this practice. He went to the ashram, and he had a bad experience there because he got some health condition and he didn't feel looked after by the doctors at the ashram, and then he decided that he didn't like the whole organization, and then he stopped doing his practices a short time after. So we do this stuff, right? We latch onto something, and this is just to understand the way the mind works. You know, it's looking for reasons to abandon something, to go back to an old gravity, and it just does this. So we don't have to judge people for doing this, because I've done it too. But recognize it, and recognize this possibility in you. And how to disarm it? Number 1, your awareness. Be on the front foot with this. And number 2 is just to come back to and ask yourself questions, good coaching questions, such as, well, is it sensible? Is it a good idea to base my behaviors on other people's behaviors? Simply because they're behaving that way, does that mean I have to? Is it possible that they could be, look, okay, I'm judging them as not behaving well now with this practice. How much worse would they have been without it? Come on, you're not even looking at things objectively. So, follow your own truth and stay true to your own inner compass. Don't get distracted by the sideshows happening around you. Keep your center.